Hi, I'm Superintendent of Public Instruction for the amazing state of Washington, Chris Rakedahl, and welcome to the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction. We have a very exciting show for you today. We are excited to bring you our 2020 classified school employees from all around the state and our 2021 Teachers of the Year from all across the state. At the end of today's ceremony, we will announce our Classified School Employee of the Year and our Teacher of the Year for the Evergreen State. This is coming at you at a different time. We're socially distanced. Our amazing Chief of Staff, Jamila Thomas.
Safety first. Again, my name is Jamila Thomas. I'm the Chief of Staff here at OSPI, welcoming you to the ceremony. Today's live program is coming from Olympia, Washington, and we are on the ancestral lands of the Puget Sound Coast Salish people, specifically the Nisqually and Squaxin Islands people. The educators we celebrate today are serving our communities all across the state, and so we want to take a moment to pause and to honor the indigenous peoples and their ancestors also from across the state.
PI, we believe that each student and family and community possesses amazing strengths and cultural knowledge that benefits their peers, their educators, and all of our schools. The Classified School Employees and our Teachers of the Year share this value. They believe in the power of diverse students and families and the identities to enrich school communities.
And they understand the importance of building and sustaining positive and strong relationships with the students as well as the communities. They also understand that education is not tied to a classroom or just a building. And these are a couple of reasons why we're so excited for you to meet all of them tonight.
Celebrating great educators is one of the things we look forward to every year, but this year, obviously, it's very different. This year, we're honoring them virtually. Like so many things in the COVID era, we're coming at you on a flat screen, but it doesn't change our passion, it doesn't change our commitment to honoring these amazing individuals. We've invited Teachers of the Year from last year to be a part of this. They're going to help us highlight individuals that inspire students every single day. So why are we hosting this event this way? Obviously, COVID-19 changed everything. We usually host our Classified School Employees of the Year right here at OSPI in an amazing ceremony. We gather them in from all across the state. Their families come with us to be safe, socially distanced, and really recognize the public health crisis that we're in. We had to do it a little bit differently this year. But again, it doesn't change our passion for the recognition. Despite all of this, we have innovated. We are connecting in different ways. And despite these challenging times, we're going to combine these ceremonies. So this year, if you are tuning in, you not only get a traditional ceremony for our amazing Classified School Employees, but also our Teachers of the Year, all coming to you in one ceremony.
Now, to introduce our first group of Regional Teachers of the Year, please welcome our 2020 Regional Teacher of the Year, Tammy Caraballo.
Hi, my name is Tammy Caraballo, and I am the 2020 Regional Teacher of the Year for the Northwest ESD 189. It has been a year of great adventure and unending surprises, which has made for remarkable growth both professionally and personally for me. I can honestly say that it has been an extreme honor to work with the other 8 Regional Teachers of the Year. They are dedicated, dynamic, passionate, energetic, and I can now call each of them friend. Their support and confidence as we have worked to strengthen education in the state of Washington gives me great faith in the future for schools in this state. It is with enthusiasm, therefore, that I now get to introduce the first 3 2021 Regional Teachers of the Year to you: Shanoa Mahar, Dr. Aaron Lark, and David Tracewell. As a kindergarten teacher, Shanoa strives to create a positive first experience in school for all of her students. She takes great pride in knowing that she has developed an environment where all students are socially and emotionally secure and safe. Her focus is on the entire child. Colleagues describe Dr. Aaron Lark as a constant source of energy and enthusiasm for science education, pedagogy, and student relationships. She creates interdisciplinary and authentic STEM learning opportunities for students. Dr. Lark encourages her students to think globally and critically about the world and helps them to develop the confidence that they need to make a difference. David Tracewell can be found in the hallway greeting each and every student with a smile, a silly joke, or a cheerful wave. His attitude is one of encouragement through strong connections with students. While described as humble and quiet, he is behind the scene at nearly every school event, helping students to grow in a variety of ways. It is with great pleasure that I introduce these first 3 Regional Teachers of the Year for 2021. From ESD 123 Sagecrest Elementary School in Kennewick, Shanoa Mahar. From ESD 112 iTech Preparatory School in Vancouver, Dr. Aaron Lark. And finally, from ESD 114 Klahawa Secondary School in Silverdale, David Tracewell. Congratulations.
I'm Aaron Lark. I am the 2021 Regional Teacher of the Year for ESD 112. I'm a science and STEM teacher at iTech Preparatory School in Vancouver Public Schools. When we started to look at climate change with students, wanted to look at what could they do. Sometimes thinking about climate change feels so big. I'm one person. How can I possibly do something that affects the climate? And in that discussion with students and asking them where could they really see evidence of change in their environments, they noted water. That was something in common that we all had, we all experienced. We may not all have accessed different places on the planet. We all bring water into our lives and we all enjoy it and we all need it. And they really thought that, water is a connecting source for humans. We need it to live. And all of the beautiful areas around it need water to be a part of their environments. And so it was a natural connection piece, and it's something that students could take in their work, such as when we created water towers that were freestanding and could be taken to any place. That could translate it around the world. And so it really helps students find that link with humanity and find that link with any ecosystem anywhere. And that's why I think that water is something that will continue to be important, not only in our national discussions as we figure out how we're going to care better for this planet, but also it's something that I think every learner can connect with in some way. And that allows them a way to own that learning and make it something that they feel they can contribute wholly and authentically from their own experience.
Hi, I'm David Tracewell. I'm the 2021 Regional Teacher of the Year for ESD 114. I'm an English and visual communications teacher in the Central Kitsap School District. What's funny is when I was 10, my mother was the very stereotypical Korean mother where she asked me, are you going to be a doctor or a lawyer? And she wanted the answer then. And I had these images of naked old people in my head. And so I was like, okay, I'll be a lawyer. And my mom was like, okay, cool. And I think they'd still be proud. They both passed on, and I think they'd be proud that I became a teacher. And I became a teacher because when they both passed, I saw that people and relationships were far more important. And I had a U.S. history teacher, Mr. Mueller, that really took an interest in me as a person and really changed my life. And so I originally was going to become a U.S. history teacher, but then I switched to English because it was easier to convince kids that you had to be articulate to be accepted or to be successful in society. And so I switched to English, but I always think of him. And really cool, a few years ago, he came and visited me up here, and I was able to take him to lunch and thank him. I mean, it was just neat. And I hadn't seen him for like 28 years. And so really neat.
My name is Shanoa Mahar, and I am the 2021 Regional Teacher of the Year for ESD 123. I am a kindergarten teacher at Sagecrest Elementary in the Kennewick School District. Well, one of my big core beliefs is that all kids bring their cultures and their experiences and their backgrounds to school. And I get to take all of that and put it together and help each student help themselves and help other kids with all those different experiences flourish and reach their highest potential. And a lot of times those experiences we have in the classroom are so authentic because of their diverse cultures and backgrounds we won't be able to have because we're on a computer screen. But on the flip side of that, we'll be in each other's homes. And so those diverse backgrounds and those diverse cultures are actually a little more accessible, if that makes sense, because we are in each other's homes. So instead of bringing an item in for show and tell, or maybe your yaya gets to come in for show and tell, we're right there in your home. So show and tell takes on a whole new perspective being through video because we're in your house. And I think that will be definitely one of the benefits of this. So although it provides a plethora of challenges, I think that will be one of the benefits is being able to explore those diverse backgrounds and being able to learn from each other, which was always something that's very important to me in the classroom, but will be easier, I guess, if we're all in each other's homes. We never got to go to each other's homes before. So I think that will definitely be a lot easier this time through the computer.
Many of us know how hard our classified school employees work. They go out of their way every day, and they are so committed to their students and to the community. And I know for myself, growing up in the K-12, the public system, that some of my most impactful interactions came with classified employees. One of the things that stand out with the group of awardees this year is their commitment and focus on social and emotional wellness. And we know how critical that is right now when our young people are going through so much. These individuals understand and know that relationships are key. For the past several years, I've had the honor to host the Classified School Employee Ceremony right here in this hallway. And one of my favorite parts is listening to the stories and hearing about the incredible and creative ways that classified school employees find to connect with each of their students. And we really appreciate that. So now I'm pleased to welcome another Alumni Teacher of the Year who will introduce our first group of Classified School Employees of the Year. So here's Catherine LeBuse
Greetings and salutations. My name is Catherine LeBuse Hartman, and I'm the 2020 Regional Teacher of the Year from the Olympic Region ESD 114. This year, more so than any other, has shown us that we need to come together as a unified team to effectively serve our communities and reach our most vulnerable students, even in unusual circumstances. Building meaningful relationships and trust with our students and families provides a vital connection between the local educational institutions and the communities that we serve. I'm grateful that I have been part of a team of educators where all members are working together to strengthen ties and educate our students. That's why I'm excited to introduce our 2020 Regional Classified School Employees of the Year, Melito Ramirez, Kirsten Tratnick, and Aaron Wood. Melito works in a small rural community, building trust and relationships. His job might be titled interventional specialist, but it could be life coach because so many kids and families greatly depend on him. Kirsten builds relationships with kids in her paraprofessional role by creating an environment where students can be accepted for who they are and at the same time will be held accountable for their choices and actions. In Erin Wood's role as a behavioral health specialist, she has been instrumental in transforming awareness and response to mental health issues and creating a program to help address the handling of students in crisis. I'm pleased to introduce our 2020 Regional Classified School Employees of the Year. From Walla Walla High School, Melita Ramirez. From Pioneer Elementary School, Kirsten Tratnick. And from Monroe High School, Erin Wood.
My name is Melita Ramirez, and I am the 2020 Regional Classified School Employee of the Year for ESD 123. And I am one of 2 intervention specialists at Walla Walla High School in Walla Walla, Washington. So you could be a source of support and a resource for them to figure out how to get the stuff done. Back in those days, we didn't have Skyward and all these programs that can track your credits and all this kind of stuff. Things were done through the mail, things got lost, misplaced. So it was really hard to start working with, especially high school kids, getting all their credits in line and stuff because there was so much mobility. Because when I moved around, I would probably attend 5, 6 different schools in 1 year. I was always rotating different places all over the country, depending on where the crops were. So I could totally connect to these kids and their frustrations and that kind of stuff. And anyway, so then once I started getting into the job and talking to these kids and seeing, I can relate totally to this. And I felt like I was helping. Me being there was actually making a difference. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I should stick around for a little while. Maybe I can help more students. And then I'll look at the truck driving later. Well, that's now turned into 40 years that I've just been in the community, and I have worked with all kinds of different programs and different people. And I've always found myself in positions where I can be a source of support and guidance and motivation. And that just keeps me going. So it just kind of kept me going and going. 40 years later now, I'm like, what? I'm still here. And the truck driving, the closest I can get is towing my boat here and there, or my trailer. That's as big as RV, big old truck driving I can do.
My name is Erin Wood. I'm the 2020 Regional Classified Employee of the Year from ESD 189 in Snohomish County. I'm the Behavioral Health Specialist from Monroe School District. I think that the way that I have to help students kind of prioritize themselves and their own health is to really kind of get into their world. So Western Washington is a certain way to me. It informs my life in a certain way, but I know that that's not always the same for the young people and the families that I serve. Everyone comes to me with their own backgrounds, their own experiences, and their own challenges. And, even though I might pick up on the weekends and head out to the mountains, that's not the same for everybody. And so it's very important for me to really kind of get to know what their life looks like, what their worlds look like, and what is fulfilling to them, what really speaks to them in that way.
Hi. My name is Kirsten Tratnick, and I am the 2020 Regional Classified Employee of the Year for the Capital Region ESD 113. I am an MTSS paraeducator at our Pioneer Elementary in the Pioneer School District.
All of that stuff.
Okay. I had started my school district journey as a school bus driver. I was working in home care, and I needed to find something that I wanted to do to retire, and I knew that home care wasn't it. Even though I loved doing what I did, I needed to find something more meaningful that filled me. And I started as a school bus driver, and I drove for our district. I was hired in 1998. I've been with this will be my 23rd year. I think 23rd year. And I drove bus for about 8 years, and during that time I had applied for and gotten a driver trainer position, and I was teaching adults how to drive 40-foot school buses, and I realized how much I loved teaching. It wasn't so much the job that I loved, it was the children and teaching the children that I really enjoyed. And so my daughter was born the year I was hired, and I started volunteering in her classroom when she went into first grade, which was the first year that she was really in school all year, because she was in that class of half-day kindergarten or alternating kindergarten before we had kindergarten full-time. So I started working in the classroom, and I realized this is where it's at. This is really what I want to be doing.
And now for some of our Teacher of the Year finalists. You might be wondering how this process works and how folks are selected. So here we go. Each year, the Teacher of the Year program recognizes 9 finalists from across the state of Washington. And then a state selection committee, they look at interviews, they review written applications, and they also watch mock keynote addresses from each of the finalists, and then they make their selection. The State Teacher of the Year then goes on to the National Teacher of the Year competition as Washington's nominee. And so we're excited to welcome another alumni Teacher of the Year, Stephanie King, and she's going to introduce our next group of awardees.
Hi, my name is Stephanie King, and I'm the 2020 Regional Teacher of the Year for ESD 105 from Granger High School. This year has been one of constant change and last-minute decision-making, often leaving many of us scrambling at the last minute to adjust. It is more imperative than ever for teacher leaders to step up and help shape the future of education. I'm excited to introduce 3 such teacher leaders as Teachers of the Year: Ben Barlew, Brooke Brown, and David Beitenfeld. Ben is relentless in his push for social justice and equity in education. He motivates his seniors and freshmen to take action in their community. Such action is found further south on I-5 in Brooke's Ethnic Studies and Bridge to College classroom, where she encourages students to be authentic. She works tirelessly to close the racial opportunity gap. This encouragement is mirrored in David's middle school math class. His infectious energy creates a safe space for all students to hone their math skills. I am pleased to introduce 2021 Regional Teachers of the Year from Arlington High School in Arlington, Ben Barlew, from Washington High School in Tacoma, Brooke Brown, and from Nisqually Middle School in Lacey, Ben Beitenfeld.
My name is Ben Barlew. I am the 2021 Regional Teacher of the Year for ESD 189. I teach English at Arlington High School in Arlington, Washington. So I was really fortunate to end up at Arlington. We have one of the strongest English departments in the state, if not one of the strongest departments overall. I'm surrounded by giants in the teaching game, and so I've been learning from them and watching and emulating what they do on a daily basis for the last 13 years. Most of the departments that I'm a part of was there when I first started teaching, and so we really developed a very kind of family-based relationship that we support one another and we challenge one another to be better every day. And I have no intention of going anywhere else. I think this is the place that's going to push me to be the best teacher I can be, and I want to keep chasing that. Philosophy on a broad level is that I want my classroom to be a safe space where my students feel that they have a voice and that they have some autonomy to shape their learning experience in a way that reflects their interests and more importantly, their needs. I want them to feel empowered to analyze their experience and to change the world. I know that, I really appreciate as a learner the opportunity to take a moment to reflect on things, to try and make connections, and then to put those connections out there and see if they, to borrow the words like Matthew K, see if they hold water. And if they don't, being able to engage in a dialogue where I get to learn something and then I get to, make more substantial connections between things and understand them on a deeper level. so that I can go out then and impact some change in my community.
Hi, my name is Brooke Brown, and I am the 2021 Regional Teacher of the Year for the Puget Sound ESD 121, and I teach here at Washington High School in the Franklin Pierce School District. Has lots of different colors. A couple years ago, I took everything down in my classroom, and I just started putting things up that spark joy and that remind me and my students to be in the moment and to be here now. And I really wanted to make sure that there's a wide variety of different cultures and races and sexual orientation, gender, everything is diverse on my walls. I want to make sure that when my students come in, that they can see themselves represented on the walls of my classroom. That's really important to me. Another thing that I have in my classroom that I like is right above my door. I always tell my students that when you walk through the door, they're entering the learning zone. And so right above the door, as they walk out, is a bunch of in-state colleges. We talk a lot about being life ready when we leave here, right? And so maybe not everyone's adventure right after high school is going to be to a 2-year or a 4-year institution, but I want to make sure that every single one of my students is ready and has the opportunity. So if and when they decide to pursue higher education, that they have everything that they need to be successful there.
Hi, my name is David Beitenfeld. I am the 2021 Capital Region Educational Services District 113 Regional Teacher of the Year. I teach mathematics at Nisqually Middle School. We're in the North Thurston Public Schools. That reminds me of a little, oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you.
I was going to say, that reminds me, one of the lessons that I do every year is called the Great Fudge Scavenger Hunt. And it's for 6th graders. It's around ratios and it involves a fudge recipe. And at the end of the class, after they've done this math problem, I bring them fudge that I've made. And they always ask me, oh, Mr. B, could we have your fudge recipe? So during school closure, I actually made a recording of not just the recipe, but making the fudge. And it was fun to think about, as I'm about to cook something and I want it to work out well for me, I need to be really clear, what am I doing? How do I make this go smoothly? And then it made me realize this is really similar to trying to learn something in math. Like I need to pause for a moment and think, what will distract me from this process? What is going to frustrate me during this process? There's a phrase in cooking, mise en place, which means everything in its place. And I talked about whether we're cooking, whether we are trying to learn something, could we get everything ready ahead of time and kind of anticipate what's going to throw us off so that our intention goes very smoothly.
It is so inspiring, as you have observed already, our educators and our awardees all across the state kind of responding to the moment that we're in, meeting their students where they are in their lives, making sure that they feel belonged and connected. It is truly awesome. These are just representative of the tens of thousands of educators, classified school employees, and public employees that do this work all the time. It's been awesome. Before we meet our next group of awardees, I am pleased to introduce two of OSPI's awesome teachers. They are both National Board Certified teachers, our Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Michaela Miller, and National Board Certified Teacher, Assistant Superintendent of Educator Growth and Development, Cindy the Rock Rockhold.
Hi, my name is Michaela Miller. I'm the Deputy Superintendent here at OSPI. This past spring, our state, our country, and our world faced an unprecedented crisis. Our educators responded with compassion, communication, and common sense. They responded almost immediately to the COVID-19 crisis. These unprecedented events of this spring led to new skills for educators, led to better relationships across staff, connections with family and community that led to student learning and positive relationships in the community. It brought on new ways of bringing in cohesion and connectedness, which is much needed in this time. This is a time to bring forward teacher and classified employee voices, your voices, those that can serve as leaders and help us shine a light on the incredible work that is happening across our state. This is done with students every day. It is time to fortify our work with anti-racist and culturally responsive practices. It is time to make connections with families and communities. It is time to flourish for the 2021 school year. We thank you for your leadership, and we look forward to celebrating with you today.
Hi, I'm Cindy Rockholt. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Educator Growth and Development here at OSPI. And we know that it just takes one person to make a special difference with a student. And today we get to celebrate those classified and certificated individuals who have done just that. They are making a positive difference for students each and every day. These are amazing people that we get to celebrate. Those who serve students directly as paraeducators, as behavioral specialists, and interventionists in the classrooms. Those who are maintenance workers who ensure that our buildings run smoothly and who ensure that they're clean and ready for students and staff and families. We celebrate the office professionals who welcome students, families, and staff, and who make sure that we're organized and we know what we're doing from day to day. And today we celebrate those who provide outreach to families and to students, creating vital connections in a time where people are feeling disconnected. These are some of the critical supports that our students rely on each and every day, and these are the classified employees who help to fill those needs. We also come together today to celebrate our Regional Teachers of the Year. These represent a great diversity of culture, of background, and of content matters. Today you'll learn about educators who teach math, who teach science and STEM, who teach English language arts and media, who are special educators for special education, and who teach Spanish. They teach students all the way from kindergarten through high school, and they're making a difference each and every day. These are educators who hold high expectations and who hold the belief that each student can reach those. They're connected with their school and their students, and they prioritize building positive relationships to support others to attain goals, individual goals, and in common goals. They explicitly connect and learn about the experiences and concerns of students who have been traditionally marginalized. These are educators who have a clear path and a clear understanding and positive outlook for the future. They share this positive outlook with their students and with their family and with staff members each and every day. I want to say a special thank you to each and every one of you for your service and commitment to students and to your profession. You are the leaders who have chosen to take on this process during a time of great uncertainty. You were recognized by your communities as the people who had what it takes to maintain a forward movement and to keep us going for the future. I'm honored to celebrate you today as Regional Classified Employee of the Year and as Regional Teachers of the Year.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Estock and I am the 2020 Regional Teacher of the Year for ESD 123. This school year has been unprecedented. I have grown as a leader as I have both witnessed and engaged in the daily work required to support student success and build positive school culture. As part of my community, I was awed by the staggering amount of energy demonstrated to fortify and strengthen families and students. It has been an honor to serve among excellence in education. As Teachers of the Year, our work centered on viewing human needs through a different lens and deliberately aiming to elevate student growth. As a common thread throughout my teaching career, I believe excellence in education is built one day at a time. For this reason, it is my pleasure to introduce to you 3 classified school employees of the year: Carla Hill, Katie Lee, and Robin Waltering. Carla has a clear understanding of what student success looks like. Cleellum Roslyn High School is blessed by the successful espresso business that she has designed. She guides each student in their pursuit to master skills that will help them to be successful in their community for years to come. Students at Vinland Elementary School feel safe in communicating and participating in meaningful ways because of Katie. She welcomes the opportunity to extend her reach to all students and has been essential in the development of 4-H and Special Olympics programs. There are students that struggle to have voice. However, students at Palouse School District know that Robin is there to light the way. She is a dedicated advocate for students and is relentless in learning how to best support the specific needs that each children has. I am pleased to introduce to you the 2020 Regional Classified Employees of the Year. From Cleellum Roslyn High School in Cleellum Roslyn, Carla Hill. From Vinland Elementary School in North Kitsap, Kathleen Lee. And from Garfield Palouse School District, Robin Waltering.
My name is Carla Hill, and I am the 2020 Regional ESD 105 Classified School Employee of the Year. I'm a special education paraprofessional at the high school, and I work for the Cleellum Roslyn School District.
Over my 23 years, I have met so many students that have just inspired me. I don't want to start getting emotional, but yeah, I have connected with so many of them, and just this summer, I had 3 students contact me and invited me out to lunch, and to me, it tells me something that I'm doing must be right. For them to want to be with me after they've been out of school for 2 or 3 years. And then I also had a mother of one of those students tell me that her son, who plays Wii golf, he named his characters, after his dad, after his mom, after his sister, and then one of Mrs. Hill, and so when you hear stories like that, it's like there's a reason I do what I do, just to have that connection with those kids.
I am Katie Lee, and I am the 2020 Regional Classified School Employee of the Year for the Olympic ESD. I am an ISP paraprofessional at Vinland Elementary School. I've worked in the North Kitsap district for the last 14 years. The more that I got into working with the intensive special needs program with the kids that had autism and Down syndrome and CP, the more my heart grew and I found my calling. I just love them so much. I love watching their minds expand. I love watching them develop like a flower. The love that they give back is unconditional and real. And it's just super powerful to have that feeling and be able to give that back.
Hi, I'm Robin Waltering. I am the 2020 Regional Classified School Employee of the Year for ESD 101. I am a paraeducator in the Palouse School District in Palouse, Washington. So yeah, it was kind of a really unique situation for me. I remember going to WSU and then coming back and we decided to make our home in Palouse, and feeling for a long time like that was a negative, like not leaving and not experiencing the world, and I'm not having all these different experiences that I somehow wasn't where I needed to be in my life. And then I realized what an honor and what a powerful, thing that can be for someone to know your community and know the parents and know the students and had earned their trust and respect enough to be on this journey with their children.
Our next speaker is Malia Renner Singer, and she was last year's Regional Teacher of the Year, and she's going to introduce our final group of Regional Teachers of the Year. Let's listen.
Hello, my name is Malia Renner Singer, and I'm the 2020 North Central ESD 171 Regional Teacher of the Year. True story. I was walking down my street in Leavenworth, Washington when I ran into my neighbor, and she said to me, "Hey Malia, have you heard of this teacher from Yakima? I think she's a Regional Teacher of the Year, and I used to work with someone that she's related to." What's kind of weird about that story was that literally 15 minutes beforehand, I had volunteered to introduce Megan to all of you in this format. But is it really that weird? Those of us that live in Eastern Washington know that this region is all about networks of connection, and that these networks are layered upon each other. We're united by agriculture. We drive down roads that we share with bicycles, horses, and tractors. We have a deep appreciation for the outdoors. We understand the challenges and the beauty of teaching in rural communities. And we know that you can't just hand a laptop to a student and expect that they have internet connection. And we love the communities that we serve, which are rich in cultural, ethnic, and socioeconomic diversity and traditions, from quinceañeras to rodeos. This obvious love for their community is what unites these 3 Teachers of the Year from Eastern Washington: Megan Anderson Riley, Jacqueline Hinches, and Devin Bauer. Megan is a high school Spanish teacher in Yakima, Washington. She constantly advocates for multilingualism and started her district's very first newcomer center for middle school students. Jackie is a middle school science teacher in Brewster. She's known as a teacher that gets things done for both her students and her staff. She brings this energy and enthusiasm to her science classroom every single day. Devin is a special education teacher at 9 Mile Falls. As the work-based learning coordinator, he has developed a program that gets his students out into the community, practicing employability skills in a rigorous and real-world setting that connects the community and the school through his students. I am so pleased to introduce 2021 Regional Teachers of the Year from A.C. Davis High School in Yakima, Megan Anderson Riley. From Brewster Middle School in Brewster, Jacqueline Hinches. And from Lakeside High School in 9 Mile Falls, Devin Bauer.
Hi, I'm Megan Anderson Riley, and I'm the 2021 Regional Teacher of the Year for ESD 105. I am a Spanish teacher at A.C. Davis High School in Yakima School District. My mom is a teacher. She was a teacher. She was a great educator for elementary school, and she's a super hard worker. She spent a lot of hours as an educator, and growing up with that, I decided I'm never going to become a teacher ever because it's so much work. There's a lot of time. It's a lot of stress, She gave a lot to her students and the schools that she worked with. But as time went on, I was always a volunteer in some sort of education capacity. I got to work with refugee students in high school that came in. I was a peer mentor for them. Many students came in from Vietnam during that time. And I had moved around a lot. I was born in Missouri and moved in different places in Missouri. When I was in high school, I moved to the Northwest in Portland, Oregon. And I think I felt a connection with students who had moved around also, and also with people that were learning a new language. And so from that moment on, I'd say when I was in high school, I got a chance to work with refugee students probably for the first time explicitly. And I also had an amazing Spanish teacher who really inspired me to learn about different cultures and to learn about different languages. And I think that kind of set me down this path of learning Spanish. And when I went to college, I volunteered a lot with students who were learning English as a extra support just for fun on the side. And so I'd been an educator informally for a long time before I made the conscious decision to go back and get my teaching certificate.
My name is Jacqueline Hinches, and
I am the 2021 Teacher of the Year representing ESD 171. I teach at Brewster Middle School, and what I teach is science. When I became a teacher, when I went through the master's program at Whitworth, they made us come up with some ultimate outcomes. And my two main ultimate outcomes were for students to become communicators and students to become thoughtful, lifelong learners. And now I've added to that problem solvers, because it seems like we continue to have things that are brought to us as problems as human beings, and I would love for my students to be those people who are capable of solving those problems. Instead of becoming part of the problem, they would become part of the solution. And I have seen that, and I continue to try to emphasize to them just the importance of being heard and listening in order to be able to respond intelligently, and researching, and the importance of accurate research.
Hi, my name is Devin Bauer, and I'm the 2021 Regional Teacher for ESD 101. I'm a special education teacher and head football coach at Lakeside High School in 9 Mile Falls, Washington. Becoming a special ed teacher is always something I knew I wanted to be a teacher. When I first left high school, went to college, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. I was kind of flipping back and forth between trying to teach science and being a special ed teacher. While I was in high school, we had a class called Exceptionalities, where we had students that were able to come in and work with some of our students with more severe disabilities as one of our elective classes, which was really cool. And I formed some great relationships with some people in there, colleagues and teachers and students. I always felt like I kind of had a knack for it, and it was something that I really, really enjoyed doing. So about my second or third year in college, I made that choice to follow that path. And I can't see myself doing anything different. It's what I love.
One of the great things about these award programs is that we get to celebrate the diversity across our state, the cultural diversity, geographical diversity, economic diversity. And this is only possible because our educational service districts put in the work, and they're the ones who send forward the finalist. And so we know that this is just one of many extra things our ESDs do. And we want to appreciate them and thank them for helping to support strong schools and great teachers. A big shout out to our ESDs for your unwavering partnership.
And across our state, from catastrophic fires to a pandemic that reaches every single one of us, to a historic reckoning with racism, our state has shined a bright light on these inequities. This moment shines a light on these equities. We can't ignore this. And with our education partners and all of our amazing educators that you're getting to meet, they're committed to the work. But it's not just in education, it's every aspect of our society. And the power of these educators, no matter their roles in our schools, is to help connect students to these great opportunities for greater justice. This year's awardees remind all of us that for our students' sake, we cannot afford to see these inequities as inevitable or unsolvable, but rather the opposite. Through a commitment to public education, by bringing communities together, by lifting up those who need it the most, we can solve racial inequity. We can come closer together, and we can create better outcomes for all of our students. So let's go meet our final group of awardees.
Hello, my name is Reed Sundblad, and I'm the 2020 Puget Sound Regional Teacher of the Year. Needless to say, 2020 will go down in world history as a year to remember. And while a deadly pandemic and the fight to dismantle systemic racism will headline this memorable year, I have been fortunate to include the memories of my tenure representing ESD 121, where I've had the incredible opportunity to meet and learn from some of the greatest minds in education and educational policy our great state has to offer. Despite the obstacles we faced as educators these past 6 months, I am grateful that through all of this, the importance and genuine need for relationships and connections within our school communities has been brought back to the forefront of public education with a fervor unrivaled in years past. As a champion for building relationships and fostering connections, I am excited to introduce 3 like-minded individuals and the final 3 Regional Classified School Employees of the Year, Tracy Bernal, Mayela Martinez, and Rock Whitty. As secretary of Ogden Elementary, Tracy has been able to create a positive culture in the front office in which everyone is seen, welcomed, and helped. Being a strong multitasker and bilingual has allowed Tracy to put the needs of others above her own as she makes sure that each and every one of her colleagues, families, and students are fully supported. Mayela serves as the Family Outreach Liaison for the North Shore School District. Using the knowledge and skills she gained as an elementary teacher in Mexico, Mayela ensures that the families and students she serves in her district, particularly those that face language and societal barriers, have access to each and every opportunity the North Shore School District and the community has to offer. Serving as Maintenance and Facilities Director, Rock has dedicated more than 30 years to the Ephrata School District, where he has enjoyed the challenges that come with the job and getting into the true dirty work. In addition, Rock spends his summers mentoring and providing work opportunities for local students through a program he began in which students learn valuable life lessons and the importance of giving back to the community. I am thrilled to announce 2020 Regional Classified School Employees of the Year from Ogden Elementary in Vancouver, Tracy Bernal. From the North Shore School District in Bothell, Mayela Martinez. And from the Ephrata School District in Ephrata, Rock Whitty.
My name is Tracy Bernal, and I am the 2020 Regional Classified School Employee of the Year for ESD 112. I am a building secretary at Ogden Elementary School in the Vancouver School District. The main thing that I do is ensuring that the teachers and the paraeducators have all of the things needed all the time to make sure that they can teach effectively, that they can take care of our kids tactfully and with passion and with joy. And behind the scenes, there's a lot that you do to make sure that they have all that they need, because if they're missing something, then they feel stressed. And if they feel stressed, then they may not be doing their job to the best of their ability. And within that, you have students that come into the office that need help, that need the support, that need the listening ear, whether they're needing something, and I do that as well. And that's the beautiful thing about working in a school, is you get to interact with students and you have that 5-second to 30-minute conversation with them that gives them the strength that they need and the support that they need.
My name is Mayela Martinez. I'm the 2020 Regional Classified Employee of the Year, ESD 121. I am a Family Outreach Liaison in the North Shore School District. Well, I mean, when I talk about different approaches, different contributions from our extensive and vast diversity in North Shore, one of the things that I feel so lucky to have in our district, for example, is the dual language program. We have a school that I was very privileged to work many years ago, an elementary school that has the dual language program, Spanish and English. And that is one of the things that North Shore does when they see a need. They see the need of our families, they think about it, they really research what are the best way to give our students the best education possible, and then they work towards those goals and make those goals possible. So having the dual language program, and one of our schools is one of them, we have an amazing PTA in every single one of our schools who welcome many families, who welcome every single one of our families. And now it's kind of a tradition to have multicultural nights in every one of our schools. And those events, you can see the diversity, you can see the inclusion, you can see the acceptance that we have as a community. So that is something very excited, and that is one of the huge events that we have around the district.
My name is Rock Whitty, and I am the 2020 Regional Classified Employee of the Year for ESD 171. I'm the Facility and Maintenance Director for the Freda School District. The student that you have, girl or boy, it's their first job. And so the one thing that I've demanded of all of them is punctuality. I don't care that you've ever had a paintbrush in your hand. It really doesn't mean anything to me. What means to me is you come to work with a positive attitude, you show up on time, you're not late, and you leave after work is over. And if you can instill that into young people, when they go out into the world, they carry that with them. If you're lax with them and you allow them to come in 10 minutes late and leave a little early and do those kinds of things, you just created their work habit that they're going to carry with them. And it's not always about getting so much done. I remember very well, one time I had a young lady that worked for me, and the lady, I used bus drivers a lot too in the summer to run crews, and we were painting at the Freda Middle School. All the other kids were getting 5 or 6 pipes painted a day. This young lady was barely getting one done. And she said to me, she said, well, I think we're gonna have to let her go. She's just not getting anything done. I said to her, I said to my leader, I said, is she trying hard? Yeah, she's trying hard, but her wrist gets tired. I said, you know what, leave her alone and we'll see how she progresses through the summer. And I was in contact with her mom and dad a little bit about it, and they appreciated that. And by the end of the summer, she was keeping up with everybody. Or the kid that, I don't like the way they're trimming around the window. You know, Debbie, here's the thing. Don't have them trim around a window yet. Keep them in the middle of the wall for a while until they progress and have the ability to trim around the window. And so I've had a wonderful relationship with the students of the Freda School District. We start using them as soon as they get into high school, and we use them all the way up through and into after their senior year.
We are just a few moments away from announcing our 2020 State Classified School Employee of the Year. But before we do that, I want to introduce you to someone who I had the pleasure of meeting last year. She is an absolutely wonderful, brilliant woman from Tonasket, where she serves as the Migrant Records Clerk for the school district. And she was last year's State Classified School Employee of the Year. Please welcome Martha Wisdom.
Hello, my name is Martha Wisdom. I was the Classified Employee of the Year for 2019. I am a records clerk for the Migrant Program and secretary in the Tonasket School District. My job is to translate calls and relay information to the migrant community, and I could not be more thankful for all the amazing teachers who relentlessly flood my inbox with emails about children who are falling behind in their work, as well as the wonderful parents who actually push their children to do well in school. Because of the nature of my work, it's my privilege to witness as well as take part in the relationship between parents and the school, which result in the development of the brilliant young minds, who will inevitably be the future of our state as well as our work. Our work as a school staff is among the most important work there is to be had. We may not be the architects of cities or engineers of the bridges and roads or the politicians that keep them maintained. We may not even always be recognized for our work. Whoever we are once responsible for the education of those who will design our cities, our bridges and roads, those who will lead us into the great unknown. It is on our shoulders to ensure that those responsible for our future are prepared to take the reins, even when we are but a fleeting memory from a different time. So, with that, I will leave you with this final thoughts. We are going through a difficult time, and we cannot be sure about everything that's going on right now. But one thing we can be sure about is that we must not lose sight of our work. We must do our best to ensure that despite the hardship, we give everything we have to ensure that our children are impacted as little as possible. That even with a pandemic, we should strive to give them the best education possible. So congratulations to all the classified employees of the year 2020, and congratulations to the teachers of 2021 as well. You deserve it. Good luck and good wishes. May this coming year be better than our last.
Between these 9 classified school employees, they have a combined 300 years of service in education. That's a lot of years. And now for the big moment.
So actually, Jamila, I'm going to interrupt you here. First of all, I just want to say to Martha and her twin sister, you are infectious. We are so grateful that we got a chance to host you last year. Your energy is awesome, and you are so representative of the amazing folks around this state. What I also wanted to say was, many people don't know this, but the Teacher of the Year Award is more than 50 years old at the national level. We send our Teacher of the Year every year to Washington, D.C., and they compete for National Teacher of the Year. The exciting thing about this year is, for the first time in our nation's history, this year's award winner for Classified School Employee of the Year will be our nominee for a national opportunity, just like our teachers have experienced for the last 5 decades or longer. We are very excited to collaborate with the governor in sending forward our first nominee for this special award. And it's in large part due to the advocacy of the public school employees of Washington. They have an amazing membership, committed every day. You've heard from so many of them here today. We're very, very excited for our partnership with them. So our first nominee for the National Recognizing Inspiring School Employees Award, or the RISE Award, will be recognized by the U.S. Department of Education. So I'll turn it back to you.
That is very, very exciting. Okay, so for real this time. Now that we've met all the awardees, we know that whoever is selected will be an outstanding educator, because they all are. Okay, drum roll, virtual fake drum roll. Okay. 20, classified School Employee of the Year is, all the way from the beautiful city of Walla Walla, Washington, Melito Ramirez.
Did I hear that right?
Employee of the Year is, all the way from the beautiful city of Walla Walla, Washington, Melito Ramirez.
Wow. Did I hear that right?
I think you did, Melito. Congratulations. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. Are we supposed to be touching base with anybody? Wow, that is so awesome. Thank you. I'm so happy. That is fantastic. That I was not expecting it at all. What a shock. Thank you so much. I'm just, I'm extremely humbled. I'm extremely humbled with this honor. I mean, it's just.
Congratulations, Melito. That is just
all the
totally
stuff is rushing to
awesome.
me.
In the beautiful Camas School District, our 2020 State Teacher of the Year, the Amy Campbell.
Hi, my name is Amy Campbell, and I'm a special education teacher in the Camas School District. I'm also the 2020 Washington State Teacher of the Year. I'm so glad to be here with you tonight, joining you from my house, and you're likely in yours, which is a little strange, but sort of a sign of the times, and no less special. Congratulations on being named a Regional Teacher of the Year in the state of Washington. It's hard to believe it was a year ago that I was sitting on the stage at the MoPop, having a similar experience, and listening to Robert Hand, the 2019 Teacher of the Year, talk about what the next 12 months of recognition would likely look like, and all the learning that we had in store for us. I don't think I could fully comprehend then what he was talking about exactly, but I can tell you now that you have 12 months of really amazing learning ahead of you. Some of that started at the 3-day retreat you just finished, I'm sure, where you got to learn with and from the other 8 Regional Teachers of the Year in your virtual conference. And now sitting at home at the awards ceremony and listening to the bios, I know one experience I had was a little bit of an imposter syndrome as you realize how amazing everyone who is receiving this recognition is. I wanted to just set your mind and heart at ease right now that as these moments slip in, of feeling like, what am I doing here? I want you to know that you absolutely belong. You're in the right place. You are the right person for this job. Because the things that brought you here, a nomination from a student, a colleague, a family member, an administrator, that nomination means that you touched a life, that you had a significant impact, that you changed something or somebody in an amazing way. And then the fact that you've come this far means that the part of your heart that you share with others as a teacher is something that we in Washington want to have represent all teachers. So congratulations, and remember, you belong. As you move through this year, you're going to meet other amazing Teachers of the Year, and it's a fun part of this experience. I love meeting teachers, and one thing you'll realize early on is as you have conversations and connections with other awardees, and you're talking about what's working in public education, what's really going right, and how do we know we're doing things successfully. Yes, we'll talk about content, and yes, we'll talk about curriculum, but mostly what we end up coming back to is relationships. And I can imagine if you're listening here tonight, you know something of the value of relationships. So these conversations are going to help you pinpoint the things about you as a teacher that are sort of your through line, the most important part of the message that you want to share with other teachers and about teaching. For example, Robert Hand tends to resonate people over paperwork, which I really like. And you can hear it in all the conversations you have with Robert. I, after a few months of conversation with Teachers of the Year, realized that everything I believe in boils down to really focusing on finding the potential in each student and leveraging that. And that comes through in a lot of the things I talk about. So, your year of learning is going to be rooted in a year of listening, conversations. I want you to ask questions and listen to what students have to say, what families have to say, what 90,000 other teachers in Washington are saying. And you're going to learn from those conversations, not always professional development moments, but interactions and observations that happen over this next year. And all of that listening that leads to learning is going to help you as you become a leader. And that's what this year is about. And leading, though it can sound a little bit daunting, doesn't need to be. I want you to remember to speak up. When you hear something or you see something, now you have a title. You don't even have to be as loud as you used to have to be, because you've got some recognition and notoriety, and that's going to help. So don't forget to say things when it's time. Also, I want you to make some space. Being an amazing leader means as you're having conversations and hearing the voice of community, that you realize how powerful those stories and experiences are. And as you learn to share them, you also learn how to make space and elevate people so that they can share their stories with the community. And being a leader, making space, is really powerful. And finally, I want you to share your heart. Because remember, your heart is what got you here. Your heart is what got you that nomination, that thing that touched a life or changed something for the better, made an impact in a little or large way. Share that over and over and over. Because really, with everything that's happening in public education right now, it's those little sparks of hope. It's the teachers who can dig up the inspiration even in the dark moments. Being a teacher leader doesn't mean hopeless positivity. It means shining a light where the success is happening. And there are always successes. And now you have the opportunity to share them out and share out about what teachers need to do our jobs and what students need to be successful and what you've seen work, and raise that up for the community. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I look forward to seeing what you have to bring to the teaching community in the next year. Have a fabulous 12 months, and remember, you belong.
I want to thank you, Amy, for your incredible leadership this year. It's been a tough year to be Teacher of the Year given the global pandemic and all the transformation, but you have helped lead us back stronger. Your work on inclusionary practices is both inspiring and really, really functional for educators all across the state. So thank you so much, Amy. We want to talk a little bit about the awards that will be given to these amazing recipients as we get them mailed to them. We're going to take a little shot over here of Jamila, who's got these now. So these are created by the Hilltop Artists. It's a Tacoma-based nonprofit. They serve 850 students each year, middle and high schoolers. They're in their 25th year of service, and it's incredible what they do to sculpt this glass to recognize our amazing educators around the state. They offer glass-blowing instruction and work opportunities for young people. Students develop their artistic skills creating beautiful commissioned art pieces like the ones that Jamila showed you, including some stuff we've been using for many, many years here at OSPI. So a huge thank you to Hilltop Artists. And now we are just a few minutes away from announcing our 2021 State Teacher of the Year.
Like Melito, this person will move on as Washington's nominee for the National Teacher of the Year. And I have to pause because I think it's worth mentioning that there is so much awesomeness in the state of Washington. And here's one of the reasons. Our State Teacher of the Year has been named the National Teacher of the Year 5 times in the past. That's a pretty good record. But more than that, we know that our teachers and classified employees of the year will follow in the footsteps of those who came before them. And we know that they will lead with courage and that they will advocate, they will use their platform to advocate for equity in the classroom and a more just and equitable system, where every student is honored for their unique capabilities and contribution, and that every student, no matter who they are or where they come from, that they have the opportunity to achieve their highest aspirations.
Now, having had the chance to meet all of our awardees virtually, you can see what a very difficult job the selection committee had this year, as they do every single year. But I want to recognize that committee and give you a sense of who makes this tough choice. They're educators, they're students, families, organizers, communication professionals, policy experts, school board members, and labor representatives. They come from all over the state. They put in dozens of hours reading through these awardees and doing the very best job that they can in selecting your Teacher of the Year. We appreciate you, we thank you for the time that you put into this, and we appreciate your passion for the profession. Now the moment you have all been waiting for. The 2021 Teacher of the Year is, and I've got an envelope to prove it, from Franklin Pierce School District, Brooke Brown. Congratulations, our Teacher of the Year.
Right. Wow, I'm so humbled and appreciative to be here tonight amongst so many great educators also nominated. Thank you, OSPI, for this opportunity. Thank you, God, for whom all blessings flow. Thank you to my ancestors, all of those who came before me and whose shoulders I stand on. I just want to say thank you to my students. You're the reason I do what I do. You've taught me so much, and I'm grateful to be able to learn and grow with you each day. Thank you to Adam for nominating me. Thank you to my colleagues that I have the privilege to work in the best department everywhere. I appreciate all of your support and care for our students and for me. Kamisha, Julian, Cayenne, Kevin, Megan, Quasey, Allie, Junior, Nikki, Claudia, Matt. You are some of the smartest, hardest working, kindest people I know, compassionate. This win is a testimony of all our hard work for the squad. And thank you to my family, my children, Kaya, Zora, Bailey, and David. You are my why. Being your mom is my greatest gift. And thank you to my husband, Jermaine. You are my best friend and encourager. Thank you for always pushing me to be my best self. I love you. And to all the educators working remotely, hybrid, in person, showing up every day to serve our students, I see you. This work is hard. Our kids are so worth it. Thank you. We're all Teachers of the Year. Thank you.
Congratulations, Brooke. We are so thrilled. And we want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to all of our Teachers of the Year and classified, state classified employees of the year as well. You all are doing outstanding work. Your impact on students is extraordinary, and we are so grateful to your service. Congratulations to all of you.
And being recognized as our two amazing winners have been recognized today is just emblematic of what happens across our state. To all of our regional award winners, our classified school employees, our staff, our teachers around the state, thank you. This is a stunning time right now in the United States and around the world and in our state. Thank you for your leadership through very difficult times, your compassion and your grace. It's what we all need right now, a recognition that everyone is putting their best foot forward. And what hasn't changed from remote learning to face-to-face learning, from one year to the next, from one employee to the next, is the compassion and the love for our students. So thanks again to everyone who was a part of this, to all of you who watched today, and everyone who was a part of making this come together, thank you. Wear your face covering, stay 6 feet apart, wash your hands frequently. We are in this together, and until we can see you face to face again, take care, everybody.
Hello friends, educators, and educational partners in the state of Washington. My name is James McDowell, and on behalf of the Beresford Company, congratulations for your recognition as Teachers of the Year and School District Employees of the Year in the state of Washington. The Beresford Company has been a flooring partner for school districts in the state of Washington for over 60 years, and again are very grateful and proud to be a sponsor for the 2020-2021 Teachers of the Year. Thank you for all you do, day in and day out in your communities, and would like to make a special mention as a congratulations to Rock Withy in Ephrata. Rock, you have done a tremendous job throughout the years for the folks in Ephrata, and you're certainly deserving of this honor. Congratulations again, and thank you all.
Hi, I'm Allison Leap, Head of Social Impact at PEMCO Insurance. At PEMCO, we're committed to supporting our Northwest communities, and that definitely includes our education community. We were actually founded by a teacher 71 years ago, and ever since we've been dedicated to serving, supporting, and of course, celebrating our great educators. You see, we believe that all students deserve the kind of education that's going to help them reach their highest potential. And we know that teachers are the single greatest influence on student achievement. We also know that right now, teachers have never been challenged more. And we are so grateful for the leadership, for the resiliency that our educators are showing during these unprecedented times, and that includes every single one of you that's being honored today. We are honored to shine a light on your excellence by supporting the OSPI Teacher of the Year Awards. We celebrate you and we thank you. Congratulations on behalf of PEMCO Insurance.
Hello, and welcome not to the Museum of Pop Culture, where we usually host this wonderful ceremony, but to my kitchen. Not nearly as grand or entertaining, and sadly, I have no Indiana Jones costumes in the next room. But my name is Jason Porter, and I'm the Director of Education and Programs here at MoPop. We have long been hosts to the Teacher of the Year event, and while we can't be in person this year, we are thrilled to still be a part of it this year as a partner. MoPop is a museum that celebrates the life-changing power of creativity, and this year we've all had to channel creativity in major ways. In pursuit of entertainment, so we don't give in to boredom from being socially distant, to finding ways to communicate with our loved ones, to birthday and wedding celebrations, and in the case of teachers, paraprofessionals, and parents, in how we've adapted to educate students. I have been amazed by the ingenuity and grit that educators have shown in rising to this moment. We work with teachers who are calling their students for individual help, who are driving around town dropping off supplies at students' houses, who are recording video lessons and posting them to YouTube. And many of us who are teaching ourselves are using tools we never thought we'd need. This is no silver lining to a situation which has exacerbated inequities in our social systems and which has resulted in so much loss. But it does demonstrate the critical role that educators play in holding our society together and keeping it moving. The work you do doesn't just build a child's reading skills or expand a young person's thinking about a scientific process. It is evident now more than ever that it is a cornerstone of American life, and your perseverance, patience, love, and creativity are what continues to hold everything together, even during turbulent times. So thank you for all that you do. And while I know many of you are not in the Puget Sound region, but at the moment geography, like time, doesn't seem to mean too much anymore, MOPOP, like most of the museums and cultural organizations in Washington, are here to serve students and teachers. And we've spent the spring and summer creating programs that are accessible online, be they live stream workshops, teacher resources, virtual lesson plans, learning kits distributed to schools, or online exhibitions. I know you'll all be focused on teaching the core curriculum and figuring out how to do your thing using whatever online platform you're using, but I want you to know that we are here with accessible and incredibly cheap and fun, creative, museum-based programs that students can do from home, from your classrooms eventually once they reopen. So please check out our website, mopop.org, for more information about what we have to offer. So again, I'm honored to welcome you here today, and I wish a hearty congratulations to each of the nominated teachers. On behalf of MOPOP, thank you so much for being here this afternoon, and best of luck tackling the challenges that lay ahead. I know you can do it.